I'm Chuck Williamson with Eyewitness News, and we interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcast of the Antiques Roadshow to bring you this breaking news out of Washington State. It appears that the Associated Press is reporting at this hour that vampires have been sighted outside of Seattle, Washington, just moments ago. We bring in our news specialist, Butch Wheeler, on the sightings. And so now we welcome into the studio Butch Wheeler. Butch?
Well, hello there, Chuck.
Butch, am I to understand that there may be vampires in Washington State?
You understand that correctly, sir. You have no idea what I just saw?
Please, Chuck, tell us.
I was minding my own business, mind you, minding my own business in my backyard. And out of the bushes, it's broad daylight, mind you, out of the bushes comes a man, but he ain't a regular man. He's sparkling in the sunlight, and he's got these terrible fangs, and around the fangs is this poor little bunny. He's got the bunny in his fangs, and I said to myself, that ain't a man, that's a vampire.
Well, the nation is sitting on the edge of his seat. Did you capture any film or pictures of this creature?
I was able to snap 2 pictures, only 2 though, and he was moving around quite a bit. He had thrown the bunny away at this point, so I got him one with the profile and one with the almost profile.
So you did get 2 photographs of this crazy vampire creature.
2 photographs.
Jimmy, do we have this queued up for our viewers at home? Yes? Okay, let's show those photos. Remarkable. That's the most incredible thing that we've ever seen here at Eyewitness News. We go now to our reporter in the field, Starch McKinley.
Thanks, Chuck. Starch McKinley out here on location in Seattle, where it seems that the National Guard has been called in to help deal with this vampire problem. If you see out there, can you catch it, Bill? Can you catch it? Yeah, you can see the helicopters starting to come in. I don't know what they're gonna do yet. Word is trickling in as we get more word. We'll let you know. This is Starch McKinley reporting for Eyewitness News, Seattle, Washington.
Thanks, Starch. We now go back out into the field with Jim Whitehead, who has found a young lady who seems to think that she is destined to be together with this Edward Cullen from some story from some really dumb novel. But it seems to believe that she is receiving messages via a Twilight code from these novels. Jim?
Thanks, Chuck. Jim Whitehead here in the field with a young lady who seems to think she is destined to spend the rest of eternity with a character from this Stephanie Meyer's young book for young ladies. Allison Cunningham, is this true?
There's nothing ever truer in my entire life.
You do realize, young lady, that there's no such thing as actual vampires, right?
Well, you and I both saw Mr. Butch Wheeler. And I know that Edward loves me, and he's been sending me messages through Miss Stephanie Meyer, who they have locked up writing these novels to introduce them back into society. Now, if you look at every 5th chapter title, you can see the very first letter of each one, A, S, H, L, E, Y.
Yes, I'm receiving word now that Stephanie Meyer most definitely is not incarcerated in any way. She's comfortably at her home watching these crazy people. Well, young lady, do you have anything to say to Mr. Cullen should he be watching this broadcast?
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph dies like fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume. Edward, I love you. Come find me.
And now we'll toss it back to Chuck in the studio. That's Jim Whitehead reporting with some lunatic girl.
Thanks, Jim, for that piece of reporting from out in the field. By his own request, Butch Wheeler has returned to the show with a few important announcements and messages for the American people.
Thank you for having me back. I think it's very fair that we give credit where credit is due, and Butch Wheeler deserves credit for warning the American people about vampires. Now, I got a little bit of advice for everybody. You too. And I'm talking to you, especially you.
Well, I think I speak for the American people when I say we're all ears, Butch. I don't think you can light those in here.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Never mind.
Now, if you ever come into a confrontation with the vampire, it is very important that you remember. Don't try to fight it because the vampire will win. Do you understand? Now, if fighting the vampire is unavoidable, then the best thing that I can recommend you do, like with any other type of wild creature, is hug your nearest tree. Hug your nearest tree.
Now, is there a specific tree that we should be hugging in this situation, Butch?
Well, ideally, you would hug a yew tree because the bark is white and the vampires are scared of the innocent.
Fascinating. Are there any other tips that we should know if confronted by a vampire or a vampirical creature?
Well, you don't mind, do you?
Not at all.
Alright, well, aside from the tree hugging, now I ain't trying to condone tree huggers. Now don't get me wrong.
No, I don't think anyone is considering such, sir.
Okay, I didn't want any type of confusion. But another thing you can do is vampires is kind of like lightning bolts. And you know how lightning bolts are scared of the tires on your car?
I don't think.
Well, my grandfather always told us that if you was in the car, the lightning bolt would never strike you because of the rubber on the tires. Well, the vampires, they're also scared of the rubber on the tires. They can't stand the sight of them dark wheels spinning with the warm human blood pumping inside, and the spinning wheels turns them off. So if you're in the car and the wheels is turning, you're safer than a chicken in a chicken mill.
Chicken in a chicken mill.
Well, that's right. You ever seen a chicken in a chicken mill?
Well, hold that
It's the safest thing that you ever done seen in your goddamn life. Can I say that on the earth?
No, you can't. But hold on just a second, Butch. We're going to throw it out to the field to our to Bill Hadley, who has footage apparently of the FBI capturing a vampire. Bill, what do you have?
Skid Wheeler here, cousin to Butch. And you won't believe your eyes, but I've got right here in the cold stone flesh a real live vampire. Now you watch it, girl. You watch that. You watch those teeth. Now, I was on my way to Dorothy's dance studio where my daughter takes the ballet. And don't you worry, I had already wiped all the mirrors in that studio down with a vampire reflector, so I was able to see her sneaking up. And I jimmy-rigged this trap made out of silver bamboo and gold platinum tool, which you can see I've used to secure her and her nasty ways. So she was on the dance floor, coming up behind two beautiful, unspoiled American children when I snatched her. Now, don't let her pretty face confuse you. She is not a woman. Vampire, state your name.
My name is Cecily Viola Jackson, daughter of Stonewall Jackson, for those of you who appreciate a woman of good breeding.
The only good breeding in you is the breeding that the devil concocted. And you watch where you flick that cigarette, I'll take your rights away. Take them away! Now, we're going to go back to the studio, and I'm going to try and detain her. I heard the only way you can kill a vampire is to rip its head off, rip its arms off, and burn it!
There you have it, America. Vampires are in fact real, and they want to kill us. Their bloodlust is unrivaled by anything else we've ever seen. I'm Chuck Williamson with Eyewitness News. Now back to the Antiques Roadshow.